Here we are on Tuesday, June the 16th. We're at our corn demonstration plot here north of Brodhagen. Right at the moment, we're standing between the transition of conventional tillage and strip tillage. In this direction to the east is the conventional tillage, and in this direction to the west is our strip tillage. On quick inspection visually, standing from this distance, we don't see too much of a difference at this point in time, but it will be interesting with a spell of dry weather coming on what we may see afterwards. Right now we're at the transition between strip tillage on this side of me, conventional tillage on this side. Visually speaking, can't see any differences between this plant and this plant, both in terms of staging as well as plant health. We're right around that V5 plant staging here with 5 leaf colors exposed. We're digging some plants here, looking at root structures. Root structure looks very similar between the strip tillage as well as the conventional till in this particular part of the farm. We're seeing good root growth at the 30-degree angle out. None of any kind of hatcheting or anything with the roots. A nice nodal system. Lots of healthy roots on these plants, uptaking nutrients and water. So here's a bit of a close-up now on some of these plants that we've dug up here. Right now I'm holding up a strip till plant here. You can see we're at that V5 staging, looking at the roots. Flipping it upside down, we've got a nice root structure there. No kind of compaction issues or anything with seeding there. Nice healthy roots, nice and white, probably taking up lots of moisture as well as nutrients. Plants looking pretty healthy. Maybe some leaf damage there from some pretty nasty winds we had a little while ago with some storms rolling through. When we take a look at our conventional tillage, I have a tough time visually getting any kind of differences here. Root structure wise, looks pretty good there as well. Overall, some nice looking corn here near Brodhagen with lots of yield potential. So here we are again. We're still at the transition of strip tillage versus conventional tillage. I'm facing the opposite direction this time just because of the way the sun is. So on my left hand side here we have our strip tillage, and on my right hand side here we have our conventional tillage. Now the reason I stopped in this particular part of the farm is there's definitely a difference here when you're looking in soil type. We're into some muck of some sort. You can feel yourself sinking into it as you're walking, but you can also notice a difference in the corn plants. They're a little bit shorter. They're possibly one leaf stage behind. They're pushing out that V5, but not quite there. A little bit more yellow. Maybe getting some manganese deficiencies, both in the conventional as well as in the strip tillage as well. Also have a little bit of difference in the stand here, a couple more gaps in the stand where seed didn't quite come up in this muck, but just something to note here in this particular part of the farm. So still in this muck soil here, as I was describing, you can see not quite as strong of a plant in this particular region of the farm. There's a few of these muck spots in here, more like a V4 versus a V5, so about one stage behind. Still a nice root structure going on there, lots of roots on the plant. However, we are seeing some of this interveinal chlorosis here on these newer leaves of the plant, as well as here on the leaves of the conventional tillage as well. Still nice root structure as well in the conventional till. Still that 1, 2, 3, 4. This one's maybe the V5 here in this particular plant. as well as this one. So a little bit of more variability here anyways in this particular part. So now we've moved over a few passes here. We're into the transition here where we are both tillage treatments on my left and my right are strip tillage, but on this side, the west side of the farm, these strips were laid down with fertilizer, the Mez and Aspire blend, whereas looking in this direction, we have a couple of passes here with the planter where no fertilizer was applied on the strip tillage. So quick glance here, I can't find any kind of difference. Just taking a quick look, what we'll probably do is maybe collect a few plants, a bunch of plants, and maybe get some tissue samples sent in and see what the lab finds that way. So we received our tissue report back from the lab here. Both the area with fertilizer and without fertilizer were very comparable to one another in the lab results coming back. In terms of looking at the results in a little bit deeper, we did see some deficiencies in manganese in the corn crop. I suspect as our corn crop continues to develop, we would see this deficiency go away. However, this may be something for us to look into a bit further. The difference, there's the odd plant that maybe you could argue has a lot more root mass on it, such as this one, but really difficult to draw any accurate conclusions. Thinking at the end of the day, the yield analysis is going to be what tells us how to make the right decision here. So here's just a close-up of some of these plants. So right now I'm holding a plant where no fertilizer was applied in the strip. Nice branching out there of a roots, no compaction there in the seed trench. I don't know if it's the way I dug it up, but not seeing that many fine roots on this root structure versus, for example, this plant, which we were able to dig up a lot more fine fibrous roots there. Possibly could be attributed to our fertilizer application. As I mentioned, I think at the end of the day, yield analysis is what's going to tell us the difference. Now we're standing in the heart of our strip tillage treatment. Looking at the corn here, we've been walking the field. There is some variability in the farm for sure. Most of the corn's pretty even. We're V4, V5, pushing V5 here in a lot of spots. We'll just take a quick look around here. So overall, some nice looking healthy corn plants, pretty even, beautiful spacing here with our exact emerge planter. Just lovely looking at the spacing here that the planter did. Spin around here, you can see all this nice residue protecting the soil in between the rows. It's looking good. I think we've got a nice stand of corn here, some good yield potential. We'll see how it fares here with this dry weather coming. When we dig up the soil, we are seeing some moisture down there. You can see there we have some wet soil, pushing that V5 stage. Like we said, corn looks nice and green and happy. So far so good. Now we're standing or kneeling inside of the heart of the conventional tillage treatment. You can see a lot less residue on the surface in between the rows. Really consistent stand of corn in this particular part of the farm. Look at that spacing again from that exact emerge planter, nearly perfect. We're that V5 staging here as well. Could argue the plants are a bit taller in this particular part of the farm, maybe pushing even more. Overall, really healthy and green. No concerns here. Come down and look at some of these plants. Nice green leaves, no chlorosis at all. Good start here. Lots of yield potential, and hopefully have some good results here to compare some side-by-sides, conventional versus strip tillage. So here we are in this, what I'm going to call muck soil in the front of this farm. You can see here with my shovel how soft this is. Barely touch that, push it in. I can throw the shovel in just like that. Looking at the stand, definitely as we were seeing when we were here when first emerged, overall good spacing, but a few seeds that just didn't make it in this muck soil. Had some problems maybe with depth placement, a few late emergers coming out here. Overall, this part of the farm is a little bit behind where we just were, up over on that hill there where we're a little more loam, clay-based soil. A little more chlorosis in here, a little more yellow looking. Things are definitely not as good in this particular part of the farm, in this muck, but we'll see what happens as the season progresses.